Hi, beautiful people. Hi. Welcome back to Hannah's channel. Okay. So, hi. I hope you're all doing well and you're all blessed. And I hope that you're speaking positively about yourself. And always remember you, viewer, you beautiful human, are a star. Anyway, hi, beautiful people. So, welcome back. Welcome back. This is part four of my series. This is part four of our series, right? Because we're growing together. We're learning, relearning, unlearning together, right? So today I'm going to be talking about something fun and more light, but which actually still has a big impact on our lives. Yeah. So I think in the past videos, we were talking about changes, self-awareness and how to go about the change and just, bringing things into light, right? So whilst we're talking about changes and growth, we also need to consider our attitude within the growth stage, right? So we don't have to strive and cry every day. No. Today we're talking about finding joy in the little things. Yes. So today we're talking about finding joy in the little things. You can also find joy in the big things, but let's just start like here and build it up all the way. Okay. So just a reminder, I just thought I should put it out there. You guys should go read Galatians 5, verse 22 about the fruits of the Spirit, okay? Because I'm giving you homework before we even start. Okay, so let's go read on Galatians 5, verse 22. It's talking about the fruits of the Spirit. And since I'm talking about one of them today, which is joy, it will make a lot of sense, like when you read it. But also, anyway, so today's video is focusing on finding joy in the midst of our trials and tribulations. So just because you're going through something really hard, it doesn't mean you should lose hope and really just walk with your head bowed down through it all. It's just a way of like keeping the faith and having joy because you trust God to redeem you, because God is faithful. Clock it. And for the guys, clock it, right? So God is faithful. God is faithful. We know this from reading through the Old Testament to the New Testament. We know this because we've seen it in our lives. I know you've seen God's faithfulness in your life, right? You being alive right now is just God being faithful. You being able to watch this is just God doing his thing and him being faithful. And he remains faithful forever because God doesn't change, right? So today we're going to be talking about a few things on like what makes you happy and side quests. Ooh. Okay. So first of all, do what makes you happy, right? In this life, in this life, guys, only you can bring joy to yourself. Honestly, like you can't expect someone else to make you happy. I will not lie to you. I mean, our families, our loved ones, our friends, they make us happy. They do, and we thank God for them. But there are times where they actually won't be anyone around you but yourself. And if you can make yourself happy, how do you expect to find happiness from someone else? Like, make it make sense, right? If you can make yourself happy, how do you expect to see or find happiness from someone else? It doesn't even make sense. So let's start about making ourselves happy. So making ourselves happy includes a lot of different things for different people. It all comes down to what you like to do, what makes you feel calm, what hobbies you like to do, right? So growing up, we loved coloring. We all loved coloring, right? Okay, I don't know. Coloring, building blocks, and all those things. Guess what? We can still do that as adults. Yes, we can. We have free will. So if coloring makes you happy, please go buy that coloring book. Please. and do what makes you happy. If taking a walk, looking at the trees, I'm talking about myself, taking a walk, looking at the trees, and just how beautiful nature is, like flowers and stuff like that, makes you happy. Personally, it makes me happy. It calms me down and it makes me so happy. And I love doing it. And the more I do it, the more grounded I feel, right? So this also includes like do your hobbies, your favorite hobbies. I know there are a lot of gym people here, right? Yes, if there are not a lot of gym people, there shall be a lot of gym people in the name of Jesus because we are a healthy generation. Yes. So if doing exercises makes you happy, if taking a long drive makes you happy, please do that. I'm really trying to name everything that makes people happy, but I can't do that, right? All I'm just trying to say is do what makes you happy. Like charity begins at home, and home is you. So, in fact, before you even spread that joy to other people or in whatever room you walk in, you yourself need to be joyful, right? Which is one of the fruits of the Spirit. So, imagine God really just gave us joy. It's just for us to really accept it and see it as a blessing because we have it deep in our hearts. We just have to like really cultivate it, you know. Anyway, so don't forget human, do what makes you happy because sometimes it doesn't even have to cost a lot. I mean, vacations make us happy, but can we all afford them? Maybe not yet because we have everything in Christ, but not yet. Maybe right now you're busy, right? So do the least thing that makes you happy. Point number one. Number two, we're going to talk about side quests. Oof. Guys, don't do side quests that delay you on this life beautiful journey. Don't do side quests that are not honoring to the person you're trying to be. Please don't do something that you know will have like consequences that are damaging. Please, we only do side quests that are building, especially our faith, right? So side quests, hiking, cycling, I don't know, climbing. Ish, guys, there are a lot of things. I think I'm just going to have to find a way to make a list of things that count as side quests that are actually also affordable and don't involve, alcohol and stuff like that. And you can actually go alone. Because how long are you going to wait, dear child or dear human? Big people. How long are you going to wait for someone to come for you to do something? Like, for example, I went on my first hiking trip last year and I went alone. At first, I really wanted to go with my friends, but because schedules didn't meet, like didn't align, it wasn't making sense and I kept on postponing. Then I realized, hold on, no, I can actually do this myself. So I went on my first hiking trip alone and it was fun because you get to keep your own pace without any person judging your pace, right? But I learned a lot and you get to really learn more about yourself. So these side quests that I'm talking about are more about self-discovery. You could go with your friends. Free will. You could go with your friends, you could go alone. It just depends on which stage of life you're in right now, right? Side quest. You could actually go on a dinner date alone. That is allowed. Coffee date, dinner date. Sit with a cup of tea. Tea keeps you company. Tea is amazing. Coffee is amazing. Don't drink too much coffee, right? So yeah, side quests. What other side quests? I wish there was a cycling community in Zambia. I really wish because that would actually be so fun. I'm just mentioning things that also include physical activity, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. I think I'm going to insert a little picture here typed up with a list of endless hobbies, side quests that you can look into as solo or group stuff, right? And maybe add a Pinterest link to some lists, endless lists of hobbies or side quests you can do. But the purpose of all this is to rediscover things you loved or discover new things that you might like or just really spend time with yourself doing what you like. I mean, the whole purpose of this is to calm yourself down, find joy, and just live in the moment, you know, because we tend to like be so focused. We need to get the money, we need to get the hustle. I mean, yes, let's get that money, let's get our things in order, let's do the character building and all that. But where do you sit down, breathe in, breathe out, and actually just appreciate and be grateful of the moment? It's in these little places, you know? I think my favorite thing about hiking is the views. Guys, God is the greatest artist. Like, have you ever seen the sky, the sunset, especially Lusaka sunsets, guys? So beautiful. Sunsets, trees, flowers. Like, how did he think of that? How did he like really just come up with the concept, right? It's so beautiful. It excites me. It actually excites me. If I could, I would stay in a forest. Anyway, continuing. So, like I say, we're rediscovering things we loved as children or just things you loved as a teenager. You know, there's this trending 2016 um, thing like post yourself when you're in 2016. Oopsie. Yes, let's not mind that sucker. Hint. So there's this thing trending about post yourself in 2016 and versus now. You know, that's just a reminder of how far you've come back. And also, you could rediscover that you actually probably liked skating back then. Or maybe you liked, what else do people actually do? I don't know, guys. Playing tennis, playing sports, you could still do it right now. You're never too old for anything, right? So, rediscovering old things that we used to love is also one way of like finding joy in the little things. And then also unlearning survival patterns. So, you know, as we grow older, right? I'm not yet old. Anyway, as we grow older, there's some habits we picked up along the way. There's some habits that we picked up along the way that may not be good. Some may be good, some may not be good. And if they're good, great. Keep it up, enhance it, and continue on that route. But then if you remember picking up maybe a bad habit, like resorting to substance abuse, you know, hanging out in the wrong places, or just a coping mechanism that does not necessarily align with the person you're trying to be, you can unlearn that. It's not easy. It's not easy. It takes God's mercy and grace, actually. And it takes laying it down at His feet in prayer, you know, and not picking it back up. But you can notice something that doesn't necessarily serve you anymore, and you can decide to leave it each day. Like you have to make a daily decision to stop doing that, or like to stop resorting to that habit. So whilst you're trying to live it, you're supposed to fill in that gap with something else. You see what's happening, right? Like if you leave that gap of maybe you would resort to fighting, right? Let's say you like punching people when you're like stressed. So instead of punching someone, if you remove punching out of the picture, what are you gonna do next? Because if that remains blank, like empty and void, you're gonna come back to it because it's void and it's not filled up with something else. And it's easier to just fall right back into it, right? But like if you fill in that void, so instead of punching someone when you're really frustrated or just fighting with people, take a walk. Take a walk, touch some grass. And this is not like a walk to say, I'm going to the shops to buy something. No, you are taking an intentional walk to breathe and be in your thoughts, like process your thoughts, process your emotions. There are a lot of people who probably still don't know how to process their emotions in adulthood. You're just okay, man. But now you can actually change that, you know? You're an adult now. You can change that, especially if you don't like it, change it. You can do whatever you put your mind on, right? Great. So you're taking a walk or you're doing a photography walk, right? Take pictures with your phone. Everyone has like a phone with a camera, right? So, like, take pictures with your phone, calm down, calm your nervous system, go back to where you were, and just look at it from a different perspective. Okay, so just on this journey of unlearning, relearning, we need to fill in the gaps of like substituting bad habits out, new habits in. How do you find those new habits? Try new things, see what works for you, keep it, enhance it. Great. So, unlearning survival patterns, and also that also includes walking out of rooms you've outgrown, or just a place, friendship, relationship, um, workplace environment that does not help you, serve you in the right way. You can actually walk out. It is hard. Nothing worthwhile comes easy, to be honest. So it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be hard. It's going to be weird because you're choosing to like walk against resistance, right? You're choosing to face the storm and not walk along the calm beach side, which was easier. So this is you intentionally choosing to change something, right? To walk out of a place that you've been comfortable in. It's going to be hard. That's why we have God to give us comfort and wisdom how to go about it. And that's why we also have community, right? To help us. There are people who might have experienced something similar, or maybe just people who are really good empathic people and who can just help you go through that situation, right? So don't worry, change is scary. Frankie, I'm speaking to you. Change is scary. Change is confusing. It's really, really, it's so weird because you're really moving out of your comfort zone, hey? But it's necessary. And especially if it's necessary, it becomes even more scarier because you're like, your mind knows that you have to do this, but your body and just something in you is like, no, but we want to stay this way. So, one day at a time, one day at a time, okay? We got this. We got this. Anyways, so also self-regulation over self-performance. So, for example, I think there's a moment where I don't know, it just depends on how your character is, like the foundation of your character, right? But there's a moment where you can walk in a room or in a new place, new environment, or whatever. You just walk in, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, how do I look? Or more like, how am I being perceived in this environment? You start thinking of how the other person's perspective is. How do they perceive you? And that's self performance. You're walking into a room and you're performing. Except you're performing. You're performing. You're performing in rooms where people can't even appreciate you, right? So I think if you've noticed that you do a lot of performing intentionally, unintentionally, sometimes it's a coping mechanism. That's how you go through life. Just walk in, think about how people perceive you, and then you just act accordingly. And then that's how you go through your life. That's actually not living. Because are you being true to yourself? No. Are you living in the moment? No. You're just out there being like in third person, perspective. You can't even really understand why you do some of the things you do because you're performing, right? Anyway, that's also like pin that. Pin that. One day we shall talk about performing in rooms where people can't even appreciate your beauty, man. Pin that. Okay, but like self-regulation. So find soothing self-regulation methods. Do yoga. I'm not sure if yoga is not spiritually aligned. I know some poses are not like from another culture, religion, but there are some body movements that help relieve stress, right? Do yoga, do what do people do for self regulation? Do deep breaths, intentional deep breaths, right? Color a book. That has been working. And I know a lot of people talked about how that works for them. Color a book. Now I have to insert another picture of self regulation tips. right here. Pause, read it through, and yeah, okay, great. Um, Finally, trust God's timing. Trust God's timing. And also, like, just live through the quiet transformation. It may not be quiet, it may be quiet, but live through it, please. Stay strong. Hold on tight to the hem of Jesus' garment. Find joy in the little things, but generally trust God's timing. God knows what He's doing. He created us, He knows the plans that He has for us. Sometimes we tend to like get impatient and, just do things on our own wisdom and our own timing. And then in the end, it doesn't work out the way we actually wanted it to, right? Especially if you're going through changes. Like, we really want the feeling of uncomfortability to be over so fast. We miss a certain growth point or growth curve that's supposed to happen, right? Because it's so uncomfortable, you really want to just, you know, run through it, but you're probably supposed to take a walk through it. Like, actually relax and let God panel beat you. But also don't despair. Do not despair or human. Hence, find joy in the little things. Smell some flowers and then you cry after of that panel beating. Okay, I'm laughing now, but it's actually so serious. Hey, honestly, like, I really hope that after watching this, you can just sit down, write a list of things you probably want to try out or rediscover this year. Be it big, be it small. Dude, if you want to go on a vacation, do that. But if you just want to take a walk to the mall, and just test your strength, do that as well. Whatever makes you happy. And then it makes it really nice so that, like, so imagine this. You're going through life changes. Oh, every day you're crying, oh Lord, why hast thou forsaken me, right? And then you walk into a cafe because you're supposed to be having coffee with your friend. But because you're sulking, you can't even bring out the good vibes. You can't even bring out like energy. You're just there sulking. And then the next person gets affected by your mood, and then you're all just sulking. At the end of the day, that date was just a date of sulking vibes, which is not good. So, like, imagine this, you are going through tough times, you're also sulking. I'm not saying, like, put your feelings aside. Do process your feelings. Just don't let them dictate what, like, your environment and how you go through life, right? So, tough times, you're sulking. But because you're a person who knows that there is joy in the Lord, you rejoice when things are high and you rejoice when things are low. You rejoice no matter what the circumstance, right? You will still carry the sulking vibes or just like shove them in the corner and then just put the joy there. Like, because you know that deep down things will eventually work out. So you walk in that room with actual joy and positivity and hope that things will change. And you now have a great coffee bonding session with the other person, right? So let's stay happy. Like, even if I think at this point, you really just have to make it a goal of the day. You see that to do list that you have every single day. At the top of it, right after praying and like having your quiet time with God, put finding joy today. Like, find joy in each and every day, right? I hope this helps, and I hope that you find joy in everything you do, because also God rejoices when we rejoice. He finds joy in us rejoicing. Imagine, guys, we can do this.